Hey guys, and welcome to this video on Tastee, Lethal Tactics. Now, I'm a big fan of turn-based strategy games, but this kinda takes turn-based to the next level. Because typically in a turn-based game you will make your characters move, then you'll make your next characters move, then you'll make your next characters move, then the opponent will make their move. But this game kind of does it all at once. So instead of controlling your characters and selecting their turn, you have to select your entire squad's turn. And the best thing is, simultaneously, this is going to be carried out at the same time as your opponent. But maybe I'm getting a bit ahead of myself. I am comparing this to XCOM because that is the closest turn-based strategy game I've played that is similar to this. However, I used to play a game a long time ago that many people won't know called Desperados, which was kind of this real-time strategy game where if you got shot, you're dead. But you have to walk around, you kind of have a cone of fire, and if enemies go in that cone of fire, you can shoot them. And it was very tactical, and it was really fun to play. And this is like the perfect cross between those two games, but I've also heard a lot of people comparing this to Frozen Synapse. So, to get back into the game, there is a story mode with multiple missions. You can go through this to obtain new characters for your squad, and you can complete operations and go through the story if that's what you're interested in. So the gameplay typically works in that you have multiple rounds. So, as I mentioned earlier, each round involves you selecting what your characters are going to be doing, and then as soon as you've selected all their orders, you end the turn, and all of them will do it at the same time, but the opponent, or all the enemies you're up against, will also be doing their move at the same time. So, to break it down a bit more, say if I have a sniper, I can select her to go to a vantage point and then focus on a specific area to shoot any enemies that come across it. I could get my demolition guy to move to an area and then throw a grenade to destroy a wall. Then I could get my shotgunner to go up to the wall that's about to get exploded after the demolition guy's blown it up, and then get him to aim down to shoot anything past the wall. And then I could get my kind of gunslinger scout guy to run ahead, use his ability to, I don't know, throw a flashbang in the exploded wall, and then flashbang any enemies on the other side. And then you can preview the turn to see all those actions carried out at once. And then, well yeah, if it goes to plan, then that's all fine. If you kill loads of enemies and you stun them at the same time, that's really good. But the preview tool is interesting because it kind of shows you what should happen, but then it doesn't show you what the enemy is going to do, so there's that kind of wildcard factor of you have no idea if your plan will actually work. So I think that's what makes the story mode interesting. Obviously AI can be a bit predictable, which is where multiplayer comes in. Now multiplayer in this game is definitely the selling point more than the story mode, I would say. So yeah, it kind of works like chess, and I know that's strange, but you do it in turns obviously, and you play with people who sometimes aren't online. So you go into matchmaking, you find a game with a guy, and you make your turn against him, and then he's probably made his turn already, so both those turns will happen. But then that's the end. You have to wait, you're now on round 2, and you have to wait for your opponent to make their turn, and you can just make your turn so you can line it up. So it very much gives it to you at your own pace, like you're not forced to play games live with other people, which is probably a good move, seeing as I don't imagine this has a huge player base, and the online servers would probably die very quickly if that's how it worked. But your match made against people who aren't currently online, and then they get a notification saying someone has made a move against them, so that they come online, they make their move, then you get the notification, then you come online, you make your move, etc, etc. It's a very good system. But the multiplayer, because you're not up against AI, that's when things get a lot more interesting. As I mentioned, you get to preview your actions your entire turn before you do it, which is kind of like where everything goes to plan. So like, you shoot someone with a sniper, you blow someone else up with a grenade because you know where the enemies last were, so you try to predict their movements. And then you predict they're going to come down a corridor, so you set up guys at the end of that corridor to shoot down it. But then you preview it, everything goes fine, but then the enemy actually gets their turn. And sometimes it can be like you're waiting for them to come into your trap, but then they spring their own trap on you. So say you have all these guys set up looking down a corridor, it turns out they have a demolition guy right behind you, who runs around and throws a grenade at them, and he's not in your line of sight, you had no idea where he was, and like your sniper has no vision on him, so your sniper can't shoot him, and you just get entirely fucked. Sometimes you can get completely wiped in one turn, and you just have no idea how or why. But the thing is, this another thing that makes this game unique, I would say, is it has a replay feature. So you don't just have to see actions as they happen, it's split into multiple rounds, and you can go back and view each round, and you can preview it, you can slow it down, you can find specific moments, and as a lot of things will be happening at once, this is very important, because sometimes you'll just have no idea what happened, so you'll have to replay rounds like 3 or 4 times to work out everything that's happened, and I found myself doing this a lot. But it's really good, because like, it's an interesting dynamic, because nothing is happening, time is paused between rounds, and you plan out all your actions, and then suddenly just everything happens within the space of 6 seconds. Like, so there's 8 people on the map in a multiplayer game, 8 people are going to be moving, doing their own things, throwing grenades, shooting things, and it just all happens in such a short amount of time. It's a really cool dynamic, and it's definitely unique to this game, at least from my knowledge. I don't know any other games that are similar to this. I wanted to do a video on this game because I know a lot of people are subscribed to me for XCOM, and I know XCOM is a great game, so I don't blame you, and this is a chance to show you games like XCOM, I guess. Again, I know there are much better comparisons like Frozen Synapse, but I don't have any experience with them, so I figured it'd be better to compare it to a game that I have experience with. So yeah, if you're interested in Tastee Lethal Tactics, I will have a link to it in the description below, and you can go and check it out. It's not too expensive, especially for the amount of content you get. And I don't know, maybe one day I can play against you guys, that'd be really interesting. Because this isn't a game you kind of sink loads of time into, it's just something you kind of play, or you stick on when you get back from work, you play it for an hour, you do all your turns, then you wait until the next day for the enemy to do all their turns. It's a really cool, kind of at your own pace game. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed this review. Please leave a rating if you did, they do help, and thanks to the developers for giving me a review key for this game. This is me, Evans with Z111, and this is me out. Peace.